the Colossus Akebono was not only the first non-Japanese Yokozuna in the millenary history of sumo, but also broke cultural barriers with a smile as big as his wingspan. Today, on the SumoSpirit channel, get ready to learn the story of this giant. Born as Chadwick Haheo Rowan on May 8, 1969, in Waimanalo, a small coastal town on the island of Oahu, his story begins in a quiet corner of Hawaii and rises to the heights of Japan's most traditional sport. Before sumo entered his life, Chadwick found his first stage in a very different arena, basketball. During his years at Kaiser High School in Honolulu, his height and athletic skill made him a star on the team. A rising talent, a future unfolding. Was this the path to greatness? That recognition earned him a scholarship to play at Hawaii Pacific University, where he continued his collegiate basketball career. But then, an unexpected twist pulled him away from the court and closer to the dohyo. Akebono's path to sumo began with a pivotal encounter in 1988. That year, Jesse Kuhaulua, known in the sumo world as Takamiyama, recruited him to his newly established stable, Azumazeki Beya. No sumo experience, no background in the sport, so why him? Takamiyama saw something rare, an extraordinary potential in Rowan that couldn't be ignored. In 1988, Rowan made a life-changing decision. He left his home in Hawaii and moved to Japan to become a rikishi, a sumo wrestler. Upon arriving in Japan and joining Azumazeki Beya, he adopted a shikona, a sumo name, a vital part of a wrestler's identity. He chose the name Akebono, which in Japanese means dawn. The Hawaiian officially debuted as a sumo wrestler in the March 1988 tournament. From the very start, his entry into the professional world was explosive. His rise through the ranks was nothing short of extraordinary. Most wrestlers take years to reach the Makuuchi division, the highest level in sumo, but Akebono shattered expectations. In just 11 tournaments, less than 2 years after his debut, he had already broken into the top division. By the January 1990 tournament, he was competing among the very best in professional sumo, a foreigner, a newcomer, a force rising fast. 1992 was supposed to be his year. After a string of modest 8-7 and 7-8 records near the top of the Makuuchi division, Akebono suddenly roared back to life in January with a dominant 13-2 performance. He narrowly missed the championship, losing out to a young rising star, Takanohana. But let's not forget, Akebono had already beaten him on day 3, handing the future Yokozuna one of his few defeats that tournament. It was a statement, a warning, and the spark that lit the fire for what would come next, Natsubasho 1992. The Natsubasho of 1992 marked a turning point in Akebono's career. Day 15, a critical clash. Akebono faced off against Wakahanada and defeated him with an oshi-taushi to finish with a 13-2 record. This was his first yusho. This triumph became a key step in his promotion to Ozeki for the next tournament and a clear sign of his growing command over the dohyo. Just look at his family's reaction.
Congratulations, Chad. We love you.
Pure joy, pride, and disbelief. Akebono wasn't the first foreigner to win a sumo tournament. 3 years earlier, his fellow Hawaiian Konishiki made history by claiming the Kyushu Basho in 1989, paving the way for a new generation of international champions. Both Akebono and Konishiki were giants in the sumo world, literally. Akebono stood a towering 6 feet 8 inches tall and weighed up to 514 pounds, making him one of the tallest and heaviest wrestlers in sumo history. Konishiki, while a bit shorter, outweighed him, packing even more mass on the dohyo. Long legs are often seen as a disadvantage in sumo. They can make a wrestler too heavy and vulnerable to being toppled, but Akebono turned this potential weakness into a weapon. Through relentless training and perfect timing, he used his incredible reach to push opponents out of the ring with sheer force. At his peak, his tsupari, a rapid-fire series of powerful thrusts, was unstoppable, often sending smaller wrestlers flying off the dohyo in just 1 or 2 strikes. This style demands explosive strength and the ability to maintain a dominant stance from the takiai, the initial clash. And Akebono had the frame to make it devastating. Under the guidance of his oyakata, Akebono trained relentlessly, turning his natural advantage into a refined weapon, a tool of strategy and precision. It allowed him to adapt to a wide range of opponents and ever-changing circumstances in the ring. His favorite winning move was Oshidashi, a straightforward but devastating push-out. Over time, like Konishiki, Akebono shifted his strategy. He started grabbing opponents' mawashi more often, using his immense weight and power to force them out with yorikiri. As a sekiwake, the third highest rank, Akebono amassed a total of 33 wins across 3 consecutive honbasho, displaying the consistency and dominance required by the Japan Sumo Association for promotion. But he didn't stop there. In November 1992, now as an ozeki, Akebono captured his second yusho, an achievement that put him in the spotlight for a possible promotion to Yokozuna. At the next honbasho, held in January 1993, he claimed his third yusho, firmly establishing himself as the most dominant wrestler of the moment. Again against Takanohana with Oshidashi, winning his second consecutive yusho. The message was clear. On January 27, 1993, the Yokozuna Deliberation Council approved his promotion, making him the 64th Yokozuna in the history of sumo, and, more significantly, the first foreigner to ever reach that sacred rank. A moment of triumph, but also a moment of controversy. Akebono's promotion ignited intense debate in Japan. The very idea that a foreigner, someone without Japanese roots, could embody hinkaku, the dignity and grace expected of a yokozuna, was deeply unsettling to parts of Japanese society. Could an outsider truly carry the weight of tradition? Yet, Akebono challenged these perceptions through his conduct and performance. Since his arrival in Japan in 1988, he had committed himself to learning and honoring the customs of sumo. He participated seriously in the rituals and showed humility, both in victory and in defeat. A champion forged by tradition, not born into it. By the time the Kyushu Basho of 1993 arrived, Akebono had already made history as the first non-Japanese yokozuna that January. Akebono stood out for his ability to blend raw power with refined technique. Both Rikishi had finished the tournament tied at 13-2. In an intense showdown, he defeated Musashimaru with a Hiki Otoshi during the playoff, slamming him to the ground. This became Akebono's 6th yusho. In March 2025, Akebono was at the peak of his powers. His performance in this tournament was a masterclass in experience and adaptability. He used his sheer size and strength to overpower Takanohana with a Yori Taoshi, pushing him out decisively on the last day. The result? His 8th yusho in the Makuuchi division, with a record of 13-2. In the Natsu of 1997, the Hawaiian giant continued to prove his longevity and excellence as a yokozuna. Once again, Akebono and Takanohana finished the tournament deadlocked at 13 wins and 2 losses. Another playoff, another statement. This time, Akebono crushed his rival with an Abise Taoshi, claiming his 9th yusho in the Makuuchi division. This technique occurs when a wrestler pushes their opponent backward with sustained forward pressure, not with a single thrust or throw, but by leaning into them and forcing them to lose balance and collapse backward, often under the weight of the attacker. The rivalry between Akebono and Takanohana, who reached Yokozuna rank in 1995, was hailed as one of the defining matchups of post-war sumo. From 1990 to 2000, these two titans faced off 50 times. The results? Almost perfectly balanced. Takanohana won 23 bouts, Akebono won 22. Their battles weren't just physical clashes, they were ideological showdowns. Each represented opposing styles, opposing strengths, and a shared unbreakable will to rise above the other. Both were part of an unforgettable moment during the opening ceremony of the 1998 Winter Olympics in Nagano. For the Parade of Nations, a professional sumo wrestler was chosen to represent each participating country and lead them into the stadium. Originally, Takanohana was set to represent Japan, but after he fell ill, the honor went to Akebono. It was a powerful and symbolic moment. A man born outside Japan, now a yokozuna, proudly carrying the Japanese flag on the world stage. But from late 1998 to 1999, Akebono faced some of the darkest days of his career. His towering frame, once his greatest weapon, became a liability. Prone to injuries due to his massive size, Akebono was sidelined for 3 consecutive tournaments between November 1998 and March 1999, battling a painful lower back herniated disc. Whispers of retirement grew louder. Some even called for it publicly. But Akebono wasn't done. Backed personally by the chairman of the Japan Sumo Association, he made a powerful return in May 1999, posting a solid 11-4 record and silencing the doubters, at least for a while. Then came the year 2000s, his final great dance. In what would be his last fully healthy season, Akebono won 2 championships, finished as runner-up in 3 others, and racked up 76 wins out of 90 matches, the best record of any Rikishi that year. His final yusho? Kyushu Basho of 2000. This marked the final chapter in Akebono's list of triumphs, and it didn't begin smoothly. Day 3. An unexpected stumble. A surprising loss to Wakano Sato. But that defeat didn't break him. It lit a fire. From that moment on, he was unstoppable. From day 4 onward, Akebono unleashed a display of absolute dominance. Every match became a one-sided battle as he tore through Sumo's elite. Final day. One last test. He defeated Musashimaru with great effort, using a Yorikiri, forcing him out of the ring. He ended the tournament with 14 wins and only 1 loss. This yusho didn't just earn him the Emperor's Cup for the 11th time, it became a fitting finale to a legendary competitive career. After that final tournament triumph, Akebono suffered yet another injury and was forced to miss the January 2001 Basho. That's when he made a drastic decision. Akebono retired from professional sumo in 2001, closing the curtain on a career filled with glory, but also marked by pain. Years of punishing battles had finally taken their toll. His knees, battered from carrying his colossal frame for over a decade, could no longer withstand the demands of the dojo. He left the ring as a trailblazer, a champion, and a legend, the first foreign-born Yokozuna who changed sumo forever. After stepping away from the dojo, Akebono dove into the world of pro wrestling, stepping into the spotlight of prestigious organizations like New Japan Pro Wrestling and All Japan Pro Wrestling. And he didn't stop there. He entered the realm of mixed martial arts, competing in global promotions like K1 and Pride. And while the fighting continued, another transformation was underway. Outside the ring, Akebono became a media icon in Japan. He appeared in television shows, commercials, and variety programs, revealing a charismatic, down-to-earth side that contrasted sharply with the towering force he had been in the ring. A new role, a new stage, same spirit. As the first non-Japanese Yokozuna, born in Hawaii, Akebono became a living bridge between cultures, a symbol of connection between Japan and his island home. With pride from Hawaii and respect from Japan, Akebono stood tall as an ambassador of fusion, inspiring generations across oceans and traditions. The impact of this warrior on sumo goes far beyond his personal achievements. What does it mean to be first? What does it take to open doors no one else dared to touch? As a pioneer, Akebono shattered tradition, proving that sumo didn't belong to Japan alone. He became the key that unlocked the ring for foreign-born Rikishi, lighting a path for those who followed. He inspired fellow Hawaiians like Konishiki, who came before him, and paved the way for a wave of Mongolian wrestlers, names like Asashoryu and Hakuho, who would go on to dominate the sport in the decades that followed. A movement began with one man. Akebono passed away on April 11, 2024, at the age of 54 due to heart failure, not in 2023, as was mistakenly reported. His death struck deep, echoing through the world of sumo, and through the hearts of the communities he belonged to in both Japan and Hawaii. He had faced serious health struggles in his later years, including cardiac complications that led to an induced coma in 2017. Japan and Hawaii mourned not just a champion, but a legend, one who didn't just break records, but broke cultural barriers. In Japan, he is remembered as an icon of modern sumo. In Hawaii, he remains a prodigal son, a bearer of the aloha spirit, who carried it proudly across the world. Akebono didn't just conquer sumo, he conquered many hearts. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the SumoSpirit channel for more content. See you in the next video.